Ghana is said to be a major benefactor in the ongoing US and China trade war. So early on in October 2025, China passed a new regulation that put lithium in the center of the ongoing US-China trade war. But Ghana discovered lithium in commercial quantity in 2018, making us poised to benefit from the ongoing chaos. I'm about to explain to you why I'm saying this and how these seemingly unrelated events are related. My name is Tony. I'm a Ghanaian writer who lives in the US. On this channel, I talk about Ghana's international relations and trade. So, if you are into intellectual conversations, subscribe to this channel. Now, let's start with the context of the trade war. So, in 2018, we'll come back to 2018, but let's start with the US and China 2018 conversation. In 2018, a trade war between the US and China began with tariffs on over $360 billion worth of goods. US put tariff on steel and other products coming into the US from China. And that tariff was sort of like a success from the first Trump administration. China came to the negotiation table. US got what it wanted. China bought a lot of soya beans from the US, etc., etc. What does this tell you? Usually, when government tries something and it works, what would they do? They will do it again. So, in 2024, President Biden, not President Trump, you need to pay attention to this because people think that the tariff is just Trump versus the world. It is the US versus the world. So President Biden put 100% tariff on electric vehicles coming to the US from China and also put about 25% on lithium batteries coming to the US from China. So basically, the US was trying to control the inflow of electric cars and lithium into the US. The concern was about refined lithium. So the US didn't have a problem with importing lithium into the US from China. They had a problem with importing lithium batteries, which means already processed lithium to the US from China. Basically, they are protecting the manufacturing industry in the US. So the US is a net importer of goods. They import goods from other countries, right? Just like Ghana. But the US is very strategic with how they import. The US will import stuff that they don't produce in the US. And as it stands now, the US is a major producer of electric cars because Tesla is produced in the US. So the US doesn't want cars from China and other places coming to flood into the US market, right? So that was the rationale behind putting tariff on those goods from China, specific goods, right? And so when President Trump took office in 2025, he launched the Liberation Day, putting more tariff on more goods from China. The US and China tariff got really, really messy from 2025, even though it's been ongoing for some time. And I made a video which I will share over here about how the US or China used Ghana in their PR stunt against the US in their ongoing trade war. That is different from this conversation. What is important to this conversation is this. While the tariff or the trade war between China and the US is ongoing, in 2018, again, I said I'll come back to 2018. I'll come back to 2018 the third time. This is the second time. In 2018, the US Geographical Service put what they called a list out of what they call critical minerals. And they had lithium on their list of critical minerals. Critical minerals means that things that the US need, but the US doesn't have enough supply of, right? And so China, I believe, produces or controls about 70% of lithium in the world. Australia is a major producer of lithium. Chile is also a major producer of lithium. So China, Australia, and Chile are the three places US get lithium from, but China is number one, right? Now, the third time we are coming to 2018. In 2018, Ghana discovered a huge commercial quantity of lithium, about $8 billion worth of lithium. And the process to start mining the lithium is ongoing. It is expected that Ghana will start mining lithium in commercial quantity in 2026, next year. Usually, with mining related issues, there is a lot of red taping that goes on. So, first, Ghana, through Parliament of Ghana, gave the company that controls the lithium mine in Ewoyaa in the central region the 15 years lease to mine the lithium, but they needed a mining license from the Mining Commission. And in 2024, last year, the Mining Commission of Ghana gave the mining permit to the company that controls the Ewoyaa lithium project. But Parliament has to ratify it. As it stands now, Parliament hasn't ratified it yet. It was expected that they start mining in December 2024. But if you are somebody who pays attention, you know that 2024 December was when we had an election in Ghana. So from September to December, nothing was moving in Parliament in Ghana. And when the new government took power in January, Ghana has to deal with a lot of fiscal issues. So the movement on lithium is not going yet. But green minerals, or the green policy of Ghana is an ongoing project. So Ghana will definitely come back to lithium conversation before this year ends. I cannot guarantee what Parliament of Ghana can do, but based on what I have gathered reading the tea leaves, lithium mining will definitely begin in Ghana in 2026, right? So, when lithium mining starts in 2026, Ghana won't automatically replace China as the US major supplier, but it will make a big difference. Here's why. 50%, usually, if you have a huge mining deposit, you start finding people to sell to before you even start the mining, right? And Ghana decided to go with an Australian company and a Ghanaian government company to set up our system for the lithium mining. Because Australia have a long history of mining lithium, they have expertise, and more importantly, Australia is not China or the US. China and the US are involved in some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Geopolitical disputes. So siding with either China or the US will put you in the middle of their beef. So by going with Australia, Ghana put itself out of the beef between the US and China when it comes to lithium specifically. In future, we'll talk about other ways Ghana is involved in the US and China trade wars. But today we are focusing on lithium. So let's keep moving forward. So the Australian company, which is working with the government of Ghana to mine the lithium, have found a buyer. 50% of the lithium being mined in Ghana from 2026 will be sold to the US. This is important. I'll tell you why. The 2026 quantity we'll be mining is small. It's not big enough, right? But it's a beginning because it is believed that Ghana would have more and more deposits of lithium to mine in the future. So when you are mining that huge quantity, you need somebody to buy immediately, right? So by establishing that trade route with the US, we can be assured that we will become a major supplier of lithium for the US. I know people think about how the US have done with other countries in the past when it comes to minerals, but lithium is a bit different. Here's why. After 2018, in 2022, the US declared lithium again not just a critical mineral, but a critical mineral for national security. Ghana already collaborates with the US on national security. The Ghana military and the US military African Command collaborates already. It's known in the world, right? So, by declaring lithium something critical for national security, you want to work with people who are your friends when it comes to national security. And Ghana is a friend of the US in relation to national security. Even though Ghana is a friend of China in relation to trade. China is Ghana's major trade partner. Number one trade partner of Ghana is China. The number one national security collaborator with Ghana is the US. So, we have different relationships with both of them. And lithium is a national security related mineral. Yeah. So, 50% I said will go to the US. The remaining 50%, what are we going to do with it? Ghana is trying to become a major supplier of electric vehicles in the world. Ghana is building up to become a player in the electric vehicle market in the world, right? And lithium is very, very important when it comes to electric vehicle. Lithium is the lightest mineral, so it's used or preferred in electricals. I said electricals, not electricals. By electricals, I mean in laptops, in phones, in electric cars. So my MacBook has a lithium battery. My iPhone has lithium battery. I don't have a Tesla, but if I did, my Tesla will have lithium battery. So lithium is very, very important in that regard, right? So we are going to process or refine the 50% in Ghana. And that is important because in the past, Ghana has not benefited too much from the minerals that we have mined in Ghana because we just export the raw minerals for other people to use it. But we are trying to be strategic this time around, export some and refine some locally and use it to grow a new industry base. And that is where the second part of this video comes in. I'm putting together a series on Ghana's lithium future. This is part one, painting a picture of what Ghana is dealing with on the global scene when it comes to lithium, right? We are in the center of the trade war between the US and China. Next part two, we are going to deal with the way Ghana is dealing with the US and China in this critical time. Is Ghana being smart when it comes to dealing with China? Part two of this video is coming. I'm calling it Mahama Becomes Nkrumah. And I'll explain why in part two, which I'll upload 12 hours after uploading this. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to this channel if you are ready to learn more about Ghana's lithium future. Talk to you later.